Hello and welcome to video number 4 of our PHP web developing tutorials. In this video we're going to talk more about strings and things we can do with them. And one thing I'd like to point out, on the last video I was talking about naming variables, but I didn't really touch on the fact that variables are very case sensitive. So if I also created a variable called first name like this, or mistyped it or something, let's call this, let's just say Robert. So this first name and this first name look close to being the same, but that uppercase N right here makes that a totally different variable name. So you can't use these interchangeably. This variable is completely different than this variable, so they're not the same. Anytime you reference this variable, it's going to use that variable. If we came down here and echoed first name with a lowercase n, if we look at that now, it's actually echoing Robert. That's just something to take note of. Make sure that your case, you remember what kind of case you're using on everything. So I'm going to clear everything out of the PHP again. We're going to look at some string issues. And we talked a little bit about the single and double quotes earlier, and just want to hit on that some more. Let's just call this variable string. And we're going to say this is my string. This is a string. A string is nothing but a series of characters, and we've quoted that with double quotes. We're going to create another variable up here called name, and I'm going to put my name in here again. And the reason I'm doing this is I want to show that you can't, one of the things about double quotes, this double quote here, is you could actually put variable names inside of there. So we could say, just like this, inside the double quotes, we could put our variable, and it's actually going to give us the string that's stored in that variable. So if we echo that string, like so, save that, and we come back over here. And if you notice, this is my string, and then we have my name here. This is actually echoing the string variable, which holds this is my string, and then the value for name. So name is pulling in this string into this variable. That's one thing with double quotes. Now let's say, for instance, we change this to single quotes. So now we make that a single quote. That means we save that. Now what do we get? We get this is my name, $name. That's a literal. It actually gives a literal variable name. So you can't use a variable name or a variable inside of a single quote in that way. We could do, well, we're going to do one more thing called a concatenation. So in concatenation, we can add, it's kind of like string addition. We can add strings to the end of other strings. We're going to concatenate this string here. Let's say, for instance, we say my variable name equals, and then we can concatenate our actual variable name. So this is actually going to show us my variable $name equals Randy. Little tricks with concatenation. The dot character here is for concatenating strings. And let's say we wanted to get the length of it. We can also concatenate by doing something like this. We can say string, which is the variable we're using right here. We can say concatenate string. We're going to add to that string variable. We can say the length of string. Let's do that. Let's put a dot on the end of it just for closing that sentence. The length of name is, and then we'll concatenate the string length of the variable name. So now if we save that, the length of $name is 5. So it's 5 characters long. That's how you use the string length function. This shows you another concatenating function. We can use the concatenation character before the assignment character, and what this is saying is concatenate to the string variable that already exists, add this to the end of it. Just handy to use later on. This is something you'll probably use a lot, so take note of that. Another quick function I want to show you about strings before we head on is that we can search a string for the position of a value. So let's take this out. We've got this. Well, let's go ahead and remove some of this too, so we can. Let's do this. Let's change name to Randy Yates, and now let's echo the string position. And if we notice in NetBeans, this is one thing I'll show. In NetBeans, whenever we create or we have a function, if you want to look for the name of a function, you can start typing it in NetBeans, and it'll show you all the list of functions that are available in PHP. This is the code completion part of it. And we want to look at the string position. And in the description part of this, we have string position, haystack, and needle. This is like finding a needle in a haystack. So our haystack variable, we're just going to give it name. And then we're going to look for Yates inside that name, and it's going to echo the position of Yates inside of that name. So we'll say name is our variable, and we're looking for Yates. We're going to echo the position, the starting position of the word Yates. That starts at character 6. How you'll see that, if you notice character 6, if you counted it over, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you count the space, character 6 is based on a 0 index. And 0 indexes, we'll go into that later with arrays, but 0 index, it starts out with 0. This is 0, so R is the 0 index. Then we got A is 1, N is 2, D is 3, Y is 4, sorry, space is 5, and the uppercase Y is 6. So the string position for Yates starts at, the starting position starts at 6. So that's a few things you can do with strings. In our next video, we're going to go into numbers. We'll look at some of the operators as well. We're going to look at arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, and logical operators. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe.